Hi everybody, I'm here again. I want to talk to you a little bit more about anxiety. We talked about that a little bit on my live event last week, and we talked about how fear is more specific. It's something that we're worried about today. It's happening right now and we're afraid of it. And anxiety is a little more generalized. It's more fear of something down the line. We may not even know what it is we're afraid of, just this general sense of anxiety. And we don't have any control over the thoughts that come into our head. They just pop in here and there, and we have no control over that. But what we have control over is what we do with that thought afterwards. Do I take this thought and run with it down the rabbit trail? Do I take this thought and deny it, stuff it down? Do I take this thought and process it or think about it, feel it, name it, claim it, move on? I can have some choices here. And so when it comes to anxiety, there are some things that we tell ourselves that make it worse, that make it harder to let it go. And these thoughts that we tell ourselves make our thinking distorted. And when we keep telling ourselves this, our brain gets in a habit of that. And then when something comes up, we just automatically jump to that thought. Okay, so there's three things that we can possibly tell ourselves that make things worse. Number one is we tell ourselves this is permanent, right? We feel like this is going to last forever. And this COVID crisis does feel like it's been forever. We've seen all the memes that talk about 300 days in March and 2 years in April. And it feels like it's lasting forever. But in the whole scheme of things, it's a short amount of time. And most things that we deal with are not permanent. There may be some things that are permanent if we lose a loved one. But even then, that grief that we're feeling, that strong, intense grief, is not going to be permanent. We will still always grieve, but it will back down some, and it will be different. So that strong, intense feeling is not permanent. So one of the things we can tell ourselves when we start thinking this is permanent, it's never going to end, it's always going to be, I love this mantra of, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Everything is going to change, even when you're in the good times. So sometimes when things are going well, we're worried that they're going to stop, right? And so we're very anxious. Got to keep this good going, got to keep it going, and can't lose it and all. Well, if we could just know that even this too good thing shall pass. Life is not a straight course. It's not straight up. We know that it's up and down and roller coaster. And as we learn to deal with our emotions and feel our emotions and accept our emotions, our roller coaster ups get lower and our roller coaster downs get lower, and it evens out. Not that it's straight. We don't want that. I mean, sometimes it's the ups and the downs that make life exciting. But it depends on what we're telling ourselves about that. So right now with this COVID thing, we can be telling ourselves how horrible it all is, and there definitely are many horrible things about it. But we could also be saying, what can I learn from this? What things am I enjoying that are better now than used to be? What things do I want to keep with me when we go back to our new normal? What things do I want to keep doing, and what lessons can I learn? So on the permanent thing, let's tell ourselves this too shall pass. And in the scheme of things, when we look back, the time is not going to be that long. Okay, so the second thing is we tend to get personal. We think this is personal. Why me? These bad things always happen to me. We may even think, what did I do to make this happen? Or what did this person do? Why are they doing this to me? Many times, now, sometimes we may have caused what has happened to us, but many times there's nothing going on that we did, especially like this COVID thing. We had nothing to do with this, right? This is just happened. And a lot of times the things that happen to us just happen. They're just life. They're living in a fallen world, and things just happen. And so if we can kind of to try to take away the personalized feeling about it, it's just a thing. And right now, really the whole world, we're all doing this together, right? I mean, I can't even remember a time when the whole world was experiencing something at the same time. to fairly the same degree. I mean, everyone is going through these same kind of things we're going through. So if we can see it as a group, community thing, especially this one, but just anything that we're going through, don't take it so personal. Don't, I mean, you can look at it and see, is this something I had something to do with, and can I change that? If you can't change it, then you still just got to go through it. You just got to find a way to accept what is. And just because you accept what is, that doesn't mean you're saying, I'm okay with this, or I like this. You're just admitting that this is the way it is right now. And it may not be this way later, it may not be this tomorrow, but this is just how it is right now. Okay, so first, we tend to say this, think this is permanent. Second, we tend to say this is personal. And the third thing is we tend to catastrophize it. I can't say the word. Catastrophize it. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it's going to be terrible. Oh, everything's going to go down. I'm going to lose everything. Everybody's going to lose everything. We're all going to die. We're all going to die. Right? And most of the time, whatever it is that we're imagining, it's not really going to happen. Remember, we talked about this last week. One of the ways that we can deal with this is we can say, okay, what is the worst case scenario? What is the best case scenario? And what's the most likely scenario? Even if the worst case scenario happens and something bad happens, you're probably not going to lose everything. And you can have a plan B to come up with it. Generally, if you work through these in your mind, then you can kind of let go of some of the fears. And remember, we talked about putting it on paper. Once it's on paper, I don't have to obsess about it anymore. If I want to think about it, I just go back and read my paper. I don't have to have it always in my brain. Okay, so let's go back over this. It's not permanent. This too shall pass. It's not personal. I probably did not cause this. It's not the world against me. It's just life. Number 3, catastrophize. Don't blow it up out of proportion. And another thing we can think about is like right now, this seems so big, and it is big. But in 5 years, how important is this going to be? In 10 years, how important is this going to be? In the whole scheme of things in our life, how important is this going to be? It's important, but it may not be as important in the long run as it feels like today. So hopefully that will give you some help. Hope you're doing some writing. I've had a few people tell me that they have done some writing and that it has been very helpful to them. And so I'm very glad to have shared something that maybe you can be helpful, that can help you. And I hope you all have a great day. And I saw a few people here, Debbie, Anna, and Faith. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.